Now we're approaching the Mystic Lake estate from the other end. This is Crete Avenue, which only one house was ever built. We're going to go have a look. Even though Crete Avenue comes all the way down here to Bayview Crescent, it is not where the estate ended. The estate ended about another 150 metres up the road. As you can see, it'd be pretty hard to build some land around here. It's very steep there, and as we go to the edge, it's quite a big drop. And there's the water tank that was built after the estate was created. Okay, that was a bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting to come across the intersection so fast. Probably only 150 metres or so. As you can see, we've got Elamine and Creek tracks, and if we just up there and round the corner and down a bit is the Walker residence. There's the Hanson track, which will take you all the way back towards Ferntree Gully. That means the Farish house is a little bit down here. Let's have a look. Now, according to the map, the Farish residence was lot 267, which is the third one from the intersection, about 200 feet if you're going by the frontage. I'm looking here, it seems to be the more level. It seems to be still traces of, I don't know, lawn. Not as rough as the land around it. I'm just entering what I think was the Farish block. As you can see, there's a fair bit of grass and is a flatter block, but no visible traces of that a house was here yet. But it's like a lot of the blocks. It only takes a little bit of looking around until you find something. Now, one of the disappointing things about coming up here and seeing the site, I thought there may have been some remnants of the tree stumps. You know, just something that may have been left alone by the demolition crew. As you can see here, we had some pretty bad winds, and the crews come up and chopped some of the wood. It's fairly fresh. Yeah, it's not the kind of place you'd want to be with all this hanging over you in a bad wind. But here's the driveway. This is pretty much lines up with the picture from the left hand side. You can't see any traces of the stumps, but I might have another look, see what we've got there. Using the old photo as a reference, let's step back a bit. I'm pretty sure this part just in front of me, just going along there, that may have been the front entrance and where the chimney was, the veranda, so to speak. Yeah, who knows, there could be some still bricks in there. It looks pretty well grown over. And the water tank somewhere down there. I've already gone around that area. You can see where it's raised up a bit. So maybe that's where the car was coming down to the driveway, and it was behind that raised up part is just this part here. Yeah, we have little telltale signs of the area that I believe to be the front of the house. Is you've kind of got these little like footing trenches, you know, maybe where they've dug them out, and then you come over here and just to this section here, kind of squares off and goes at a 90-degree angle And it kind of lines up with the picture. Yeah, they definitely did a better clearing job here than the other houses in the estate. That's a shame, because yeah, probably would have been one of the easier houses to access and get in and get out of the estate, because it's proximity to Government Road, or Bayview Road, sorry, or Crescent, and to get down to the basin. But now it's another part of the park. I might leave it at that, and feel quite content that I have found the right block. There's no real trace of the house except for a few pieces of flat concrete further down the block that we saw before. What I'm assuming is the front of the house, and as we go along here towards the corner, we've got a fair bit of brick work just under the surface. If you can see that, it's a brick, and we go a little bit to where it squares off here. We've got dug up this little round piece. Looks like something that might have been ornamental. I've got no idea. Something that may have been on the front of the house, but just below. As we can see, there's always these little telltale signs of something was here. Bit of concrete here, nice flat piece, a couple of pieces here and here. As you can see, it's quite a popular walking track, so it's good to see that it never went to waste. Some more concrete here, just pieces that are never fully cleaned up. No traces of, it feels very solid there. Any traces that there was a house here, except for the cleanness of the block compared to the rest of the surrounds. This is almost like lawn. We've had a fair few trees fall down very recently. We had some pretty bad winds last week. There's two there, another one further down. I'll go back up onto the track and see if I can match up some trees. I was just coming up, and just where this tree's fallen down, this is fairly recent, I found another piece of flat concrete, but also found a piece of fibro in that distinctive green colour. Not a lot, but there seems to be bits of rocks and stuff here. It was stuff they never picked up when they did the clean. So every site clean is never 100%, perfect. You can see. Probably asbestos. Oh, better wash my hands after this. Fantastic. There's a tree that fell down in the last storm, and that's where I found the piece of fibro. But here, looks like we've got a piece of painted or rendered similar green colour concrete. So that was underneath the stump here, so might be some other bits and pieces hidden away. This is probably where they parked the car. Bit of history about this place. It was a weekender from a couple, Dorothy and Robert Farish, who lived over in Footscray, Seddon Way. and they'd come down here on the weekends. Robert died early in his retirement. And the house was then sold to Ken and Shirley Jennings. Shirley being the daughter of Stanley Lou Walker, the owner of Lot 85 in Alamein Avenue. So all the photos that you see accompanying this video are actually from the time that Shirley and Ken lived in the house. As you can see, there's a television aerial, and in the front, that's not a tree, that looks like a power pole, so power has been brought up. So it probably wasn't long before, they didn't get many years before they repossessed the land and turned it into a national park. Still, it's pretty good how it's managed to keep so nice, neat and trim. From the back of the block, it does, you can see how it's so much cleaner than the rest of the scrub around here. Take an afternoon to come in here, clear up a few bits and give it a mow, and put a swing set in, you've got a municipal park almost. Quite nice.